Good morning. Thank you for your patience. We're all hooked up now and ready to go. A couple minutes late, so thanks for your patience. Does anybody remember what the announcement was? The only announcement? Flu shots. Flu shots this Saturday from noon to 3. Community health days. Social services building side entrance. Do you need insurance?
Nope.
You do not need insurance. You do not need insurance to get a flu shot. If you have insurance, please bring your card, but if you don't, you can still get a shot, okay? And also, I promised only one announcement, but one more announcement. Our computer skills class has started. If you know anyone who is interested in that class, please let us know. We have a couple of slots still available. That's a really great class. Basic skills that you would use at home or for school or in your job. Microsoft Office. It's a small group. You get a lot of one-on-one instruction. It's a very, very good class. So if you're interested in that, let us know and we can get you registered and started right away. That's every Monday and Wednesday from 6 to 7:30 in the evening. Hi, Wendy. We do not have babysitting for the computer class. That's a good question. Thanks for asking. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to our speakers for today. If you were here last week, you know our speaker talked about the services provided by our partner and neighbor Culmore Clinic. And then we actually had two topics. When that speaker finished, Julio Martinez was here from United Healthcare. United Healthcare and Julio have been a dear friend to Al-Hijrah and a sponsor of many of our programs. And Julio's here to talk about the Medicaid expansion that's happening in Virginia. It will affect many people in a very positive way, but it's also very confusing. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about that. And we also have a few people here who are going to try to help translate what he's saying into Arabic. So it's very important that you get this information, and he's here to give it again just so that if you are only an Arabic speaker, you'll be able to get the information and ask questions. But before our Medicaid update, I'd like to introduce Jessica Hudson, who is the director of Fairfax County Libraries, public libraries, and Sarah Garcia, who is the new director of the Woodrow branch, which is also our neighbor just in Culmore, not very far away. So they're going to talk about all the great services offered by the public libraries here that you can take advantage of, and almost all of them are free. Okay, so thanks very much, and I'll turn it over to Jessica and Sarah.
Hi everyone. As Stacy said, I am the branch manager at the Woodrow Wilson Library. And we would love to have you all come and see us. But I'm first going to go over some of what the library has to offer to the community. The library as a whole has a 2 million item circulating collection that includes books, newspapers, periodicals, and ebooks. Unfortunately, we do not have any books in Arabic, but we do have magazines and periodicals at the Woodrow Wilson Library that are in Arabic. The library as a whole has more than 300 free events every month. All library programs are free and open to the public, so there is not a charge for any of them. The system has 23 branches throughout the county. Obviously, our nearest branch here is the Woodrow Wilson Library, which is a community library. We also have 8 regional libraries, which are larger. They have more hours. And you also have access to the Virginia room, which has local history resources, and the Access Services branch, which provides library service to people with disabilities and who are homebound. Community and nonprofit groups can use our meeting rooms free of charge. Just basically the only stipulation is that the meeting being held also has to be free and open to the public. We also have free Wi-Fi at every branch if you want to come and use smartphone, tablet, laptop, anywhere in the branch you can access our free Wi-Fi in our meeting rooms, group study rooms, quiet study. These are the library hours. As I mentioned, the regional branches are open until 9 o'clock, 4 days a week, The community branches, like Woodrow Wilson, are only open until 9 o'clock 3 days a week, and we are closed on Sundays. So if you need library service on a Sunday, your nearest regional branch is going to be the George Mason Regional Library. And I do have library hours brochures here that also list all of the branches in Fairfax County. So, does anyone here already have a library card? A few people? Excellent. If you would like to get a library cards are free of charge. You can apply online, you can apply in the branch. All we need to see is a valid photo ID and proof of current address. If you have a driver's license that has your current address on it, that's all you need. If the ID does not have your address on it, bring in a piece of mail, a bank statement, anything that has your name and address on it, and we will get you a free card. It only takes about 5 minutes. As a resident of Fairfax County, you can also get cards in neighboring jurisdictions such as Alexandria City, Falls Church City, Arlington County, and residents of those cities and counties are also eligible to get free cards in Fairfax County. And as you can see, I also put pictures of some of our cute library cards in the presentation. And since I know there are a number of people within the community who are perhaps unable to come into the physical library to either get a card or check out materials, the library has what we call our Access Services branch, and that branch provides service to people with permanent or temporary disabilities. So if you know someone who is unable to go to the library but wants to access books and library materials, contact the Access Services branch. I do have brochures here, and their contact information is on the back. What they do is they will help you find materials that are of interest, and they will mail them to your home, and you can send them back in the mail as well. So there's no need to actually go into the branch to get reading materials. Now, since we've talked about the system as a whole for a while, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we have specifically at the Woodrow Wilson Community Library. We have 2 large meeting rooms, 1 conference room, and 2 group study rooms, in addition to a quiet study room. The group study rooms can be booked up to 7 days in advance and can be booked for 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. The large meeting rooms and conference room can be booked up to 90 days in advance, and it will vary. Which one you book will vary depending on size of group. The large meeting rooms can hold either 40 or 50 people each, and the conference room, I believe, holds either 6 or 8. We have wonderful staff to help you find materials that you may want. We're really good at doing research, and we don't get enough research questions. We really like doing research. The branch itself has approximately 50,000 circulating items, and that is part of the library's overall floating collection, which means that items stay at the branch where they are returned. So if you check it out at Woodrow Wilson and return it at Thomas Jefferson, it will stay at Thomas Jefferson. Does that make sense? We also have a early literacy computer in our children's area that has early literacy games. It does not connect to the internet, so kids can't get out onto the internet and find things that you don't want them to see. All they can do is play fun games about, learning their letters and numbers and tracing them on the screen. Woodrow has 21 public internet computers, and that is in addition to the Wi-Fi if you wish to bring your own device. All the public computers have the Microsoft Office suite on them, so they have Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, things like that. We have the quiet study room, which individuals can go into and study quietly. There's no cell phones or talking in the quiet study room. We also have a wonderful community information section, which is pictured up here, where we keep all sorts of flyers and handouts, not only about library programs, but also about programs going on elsewhere in the community, or information about where to go for other resources, whether it's local food banks, voter registration, all sorts of things. We also offer a number of free programs and events for adults in the branch. We offer one-on-one technology tutoring, which you can make an appointment for. Currently, our tutor is available on Tuesday evenings. We did have a Saturday afternoon tutor, but he and his wife are currently on maternity leave. But we hope that they will be back in January. And the program that might be of interest that is happening in October and November is our mindful meditation. We have 2 programs each month in October and November. One is in the evening and one is in the afternoon, but it's the same presenter. And we also have our English conversation group, which we also have a flyer for here. This is also free of charge. It's just a casual conversation group in English, usually focusing on a particular topic. Oftentimes it is a practical topic, like going to the DMV or going to the grocery store, going to the doctor, so that people can help expand practical vocabulary for particular situations. And upcoming next week, we have somebody from the United States Immigration, USCIS, coming to do a presentation on how to become a U.S. citizen, and that is at 7 p.m. in one of our meeting rooms. And it is open to the public, and it's just an informational session. It's not actually a class, but it will give useful information. We also have lots of programs and events for children and families. We have story times on Tuesday mornings, 3 times a month. We have baby, toddler, and preschool story times. But if you have children who are watching football into different age groups, it's okay to come to all of them. So it's okay if the child is slightly outside of a particular age range. While the story time will be geared toward that particular age group, we welcome anyone who wants to attend. We also, on one Saturday a month, have our family fun story times, which will be at 2:30 in the afternoon, and those are intended for the entire family. There will most likely be a small craft, stories, songs. It'll be lots of fun knowing our youth services manager. And then on Friday mornings, we have our Friday play date, which is where we put out a number of toys in our meeting room. We put out coffee and tea, and parents and children can come and play. We close the doors so that the kids can't escape. And kids have a lot of fun playing with new kids. Parents can get to know one another, and everybody can play in a safe space. And then we also have more programs. On October 23rd, Woodrow Wilson will be participating in Global Maker Day. So we will have a special story time that morning, and we will have our 3D printer running all day if anyone wants to come and see how the 3D printer works. We will also then be having a craft after school and showing a movie in the evening. And we also have family movies once a month on Saturday afternoons. Again, it's all free of charge, and we have flyers and specific information about the movies in the branch as to which movie is being shown each month, but all movies are appropriate for the entire family. And then we are also currently one of the 4 branches offering free 3D printer services to the public. So if you are interested in having something printed on the 3D printer, then everybody know what a 3D printer is? Or should I try and explain it? Yeah. What a 3D printer is a special type of printer that can actually print a 3D object. Yesterday, my colleague printed a little frog. It was about this tall and about this big around. And it looked like an actual little frog, but it was made out of plastic. And it was printed on the printer. And for more information, I can give you the information to the website. Let's see, we also have game time on Monday afternoons, which is where we put out a lot of board games, checkers, Battleship, Candyland, all sorts of fun things on Monday afternoons, and kids and parents come after school and play board games, and usually a fun time is had by all. And we would love for you to come and see us at Woodrow Wilson, because we want more people coming through the door, and we want to do what we can for the community to help make it a better place.
So I'm gonna put on the headphones.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, excellent. So thank you, Sarah, for talking about the Woodrow Wilson Library. I think the thing we want you to take away the most about what the library does for you all, because this is your community library, is that we want to provide services that are of interest to everyone. And the thing you should really remember is that you're already paying for the library through any taxes that you provide. So when you come in, it's free. The English conversation classes that Sarah talked about, all of our children's storytime events, the movie nights, all of those things are available for you to walk through the door and participate in. You don't have to sign up in advance, you don't have to pay anything, nobody's going to ask you any questions, you're just welcome to come in and participate. So many of the things that she talked about are fantastic community programs that have a lot of your neighbors visiting them, and we'd like you to come and participate as well. Sarah mentioned earlier that we don't have materials right now in Arabic. Right now at the Woodrow branch we have magazines and newspapers, but we are interested in expanding our collections so that we offer things in the language that you natively speak. Right now we have materials in English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Korean, but we are very interested in expanding to different languages that the 160 different languages spoken in Fairfax County might want to read, listen, or watch in. So right now we're working on expanding our collections in Farsi, I think we're looking at some of the Arabic languages, Tamil, French, German, and a few others. So please do look forward to us having materials in those languages in the next months and years, because we are trying to develop those as well. One of the things that Sarah talked about is our fantastic staff. And we do have wonderful staff at the Woodrow Library, but we also have excellent and numerous volunteers. And the volunteers that help at the library allow us to do many more services and programs than the 10 of us or so can do, particularly in languages other than English. So I only speak English, and I think Sarah only speaks English as well. But we are actively looking for more volunteers to help us reach out to communities that we don't speak the languages of. So if you are a native speaker of Arabic or something else, and you would like to help the library expand the programs that we offer, we would love to work with you. We had talked with I didn't catch your name, I'm so sorry. Monia. So we talked with Monia earlier about doing an English-Arabic story time. And we would love to continue to offer those kinds of things. So if you're interested and have a little bit of free time and would like to volunteer, you can talk with Sarah after the program, and we would be very interested in working with you. Because we do what we can with the resources we can, but you all are the community members that can help us figure out what we should really be doing. Because we have a lot of people that come through the doors, but there's also a lot of people that don't visit our libraries. There are 1.2 million people in Fairfax County, and about 450,000 of them use the library. They have library cards. That means there's 700,000 people out there that don't. And because you already pay for this, we'd really like to get people coming in so that everyone is getting maximum usage out of something you're already paying for as a community good. I did want to talk a little bit about some of the other services you might like to use at the library that aren't specific to Woodrow, but that are available across the board. We have a really expansive website, so if you don't want to visit the Woodrow Wilson Library, if you're very, very busy, or it's just not a convenient location for you, you can download books and audiobooks onto your phone, tablet, device. You can stream magazines as well if you don't want to fight somebody for the newest edition of something. And you can put books on hold. So if Woodrow doesn't have what you want right now, we'll send it from any of our other locations to the branch for you. Our website also has a lot of really user-specific options. So if you're looking for good books and you don't want to talk to someone in the branch or you're not able to come in, we have people that'll do one-on-one readers advisory services with you online. And the website also gives you a full calendar of all the events that we have going on. So we had a listing of several of the things going on, but we've got hundreds of events at all of our locations every month that run all the way across the board. So we've got baby and toddler story times, we have the conversation classes, but we also have classes for older adults or anyone who's interested on how to buy a home, how to become a U.S. citizen, how to build your fall garden, how to do really anything you could think of. We partner with subject matter experts to present those programs for people who are interested. So you can take a look and see what's available. You don't even have to sign up, you can just show up for them, and it's available for you all. We also have a couple of really specific collections that may be of interest to folks in here. So for those people who have little kids in the back, we have backpacks that have nature supplies in them. So it's got magnifying glasses and fold-out cards that talk about different local flora and fauna, and they have free passes to all the state parks. So not only does the library provide materials that you traditionally think of, books, magazines, newspapers, audio, video, but we're trying to provide things that you can't get anywhere else, but that might be helpful for you as you're planning a fall vacation with your kiddos. Yes? No, they're available throughout the whole year. Yeah, they're called nature backpacks. We have them available all year long. They're busiest during the summer because it's summer vacation, so the kiddos are going out and doing things, but you can take them anytime you'd like. Yeah. And we have other collections like that as well. For those of you who are homeowners, we have thermal cameras you can check out. So you run them along your windows and doorways, and it'll show where you're leaking heat out of your house, so that you can either recaulk or get a new door or window to save on your electrical bills. So we have a couple of different collections like that that are just a little outside of the norm of our kind of traditional collections, but that we have partnered with other community agencies on to offer. I also wanted to talk about, this one's a fun one. Not at the Woodrow Library, but also not so very far away, at the City of Fairfax Library and at the Sherwood Library. We have, they're called memory depots, but what they really are is they're self-service stations for you to translate over all of your old format memories. So if you have old film reels, if you've got photographs, if you have those funny floppy drives you used to put into computers and you can't access them anymore, you can bring them to the library and you can convert them to digital files. So we've got stations set up where you can get a training with a staff member on how to convert all those files over, and then you can come in for 3-hour blocks of time and change them all over yourself. So I think that's about what we wanted to share with you today. The library is a really busy, exciting place. We've got 7 million people that visit all of our locations every year. We've got 12 million items that go out the doors. But we are very, very interested in continuing to reach out to populations that don't use our libraries as much. And we would love it if you would come and visit us at the Woodrow Wilson Library. Sarah and I are happy to answer any questions that you might have about the Woodrow Wilson branch, any other local locations, or our system. Any questions? Sure. So at the Woodrow Wilson branch, not only do we have 21 public service computers that you don't have to reserve, you can come in, sit down and use them. We have wireless, so you can bring in your own devices and access that. But we also have one-on-one technology tutoring. So if you come in on a Tuesday night and you have a new phone, and you don't know what to do with this new phone because somebody bought it for you and it does not work right, you can bring it in and our volunteers will help you get your phone set up, figure out how to use it, answer questions that you might have. Sarah had also mentioned we have a volunteer who's currently out on maternity leave, but will be back next year, who comes in on Saturdays. And we try and do that as... Sure. So what Sarah said is that this is one that does require a reservation in advance. We try and make sure that our volunteers' times are blocked out well so that they're not just sitting there and waiting for people that don't show up. So if you do need technology assistance, if you want some help setting up your new tablet, figuring out how your phone works, trying to understand your Kindle device or anything that uses an e-reader, you can contact the Woodrow Wilson branch or you can use the reservation system online. Okay, so you're going to call in, and then Sarah and her staff will hook you up with a time for the technology tutor. Any other questions? Yes?
This question for Woodrow Wilson Library. So are you looking for resources to buy any Arabic books? Are you going to provide something like this?
No.
Yeah, I can answer that one.
Items that are purchased at the system level.
Yeah.
So the branch does not actually have its own budget.
Yeah. So what we're doing right now is we are contracting with a large material vendor to purchase Arabic books, Asian language books, a couple of other ones, and then we buy them in bulk. So we have specific vendors we use, and then we kind of run them through that, because if we don't speak Arabic, or if none of the staff do, then we don't actually know what the materials are in there. So they provide us the record that goes along with it, and selection recommendations. But when we start developing that collection, we'll also be looking for donations. Good condition, relatively recent materials, adult and children's. What we're starting with are pooled collections. So we might buy 150 kids' board books in Arabic, or 150 adult fiction books in French. And we're going to keep them all at one location and see how well they circulate to try and gauge which languages we should spend more money developing.
Yeah, I remember like 10 years ago, one of the Woodrow branch manager asked me that the brand that we can and we want to buy something in Arabic or Arabic. So there is a publisher, a fiction publisher, it's called Woodrow.com.
Okay.
I go to that website and it's kind of like support to buy more articles for the public. And it's really good because this area is, the school is NYU or international material, so we have the Arabic language in the curriculum. So it's going to help the school systems and it's going to help our community at the same time.
Excellent. I might stop by afterwards and write that. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Can you say that one more time? Right now, we have a specific set of collection development staff that purchase our materials. And when it's in languages that we don't have native speakers of, we work directly with the vendor. So we might say, we really want picture books and we want them in Arabic. And they would give us a list of recommended titles based on the parameters we've provided. That's not to say that we wouldn't want volunteers at some point. Yeah, so at the Thomas Jefferson Library, we have there's a large Vietnamese community around TJ. And we actually have a volunteer group that helps us sort through donations that come through in Vietnamese. So that's certainly something we might be looking for as well. Yeah. Other questions?
I heard a story of the Martinez library years ago where we could because we have two holidays in the sun
Yeah.
during the year, and we could like a corner for our holiday where we could like articles and things a little bit for and we could like the people like it. I was thinking to do this
I will let you work directly with Sarah on that, but we would love to. Well, so much of what we try and do at the library is not just provide books and materials and wonderful staff and space, but to connect with our community members to make sure we're meeting actual needs. So the George Mason Library and the Chantilly Library over in Sully District, over the last year, they've done a couple of programs called Meet Your Muslim Neighbor. And it's been, our community room has been set up with food and cultural displays and arts so that anyone who comes into the library that day can walk through and get a glimpse of who some of their neighbors might be and what their community is all about. It's building those interrelated connections between different community members who might never meet and talk about those kind of things in an open space. So we're absolutely open to those kind of things, and I'll let you talk about Sarah afterwards about it. You can see we've got a future dedicated volunteer. Any other questions we can answer? Yes. So we're so close to other jurisdictions that we have reciprocal agreements. So if you live in Arlington or Alexandria or Falls Church, DC, Prince William, that's fine. You can still get a library card. You can still use services. Yes. Even Maryland, it's okay. Exactly. Yeah, it's all reciprocity. We're all so close it would be silly not to share resources back and forth. You might live in Fairfax and work in Falls Church and have daycare in Alexandria. You might as well. And we all buy different things and have different services, so it doesn't hurt to get library cards to any of your local systems because they might offer slightly different things. And then I think we're turning it over to Julio. Yes, okay, then thank you all. Sarah and I will stay a little bit afterwards as well in case you have any questions. And turn the audio off on us.
Okay, can you hear me now? Now I need to try to keep my voice kind of low because I'm too loud as it is. But anyways, I'm a community outreach specialist for United Healthcare, and the reason why I'm here once again is to explain to you about Medicaid and about new changes that are coming to Medicaid in Virginia, especially Northern Virginia. Well, the first thing is that since the 1st of this month, which was what, Monday, right? There are 6 Medicaid health plans in Northern Virginia instead of 3. Before there were Kaiser, Total Health, and Anthem Health Keepers Plus. Now there are 6. Kaiser no longer serves the Medicaid population in Virginia. So Kaiser no longer has a contract with the state to provide services for Medicaid. And in Total Health, the name for Total Health is changing to United Healthcare. So anyone who happens to have Medicaid within Total Health, they will have the services transferred over to United Healthcare with the same services, okay, and even more benefits. Also, we have, besides United Healthcare, Anthem, we have also Virginia Premier, Optima, we have Aetna, there's 6, let me see, if I have it right again. United Healthcare, Anthem, Virginia Premier, Optima, Aetna, and Magellan. There are 6 new health plans for Medicaid in the state of Virginia, okay? Starting the 1st of this month. Now, open enrollment period starts for people who happen to have a type of Medicaid called CCC Plus here in Northern Virginia. I have a few flyers, brochures with information about CCC Plus. CCC Plus is a Medicaid plan, okay, or health insurance plan for people who happen to have chronic diseases, okay? Age, blind, disabled, and people with chronic diseases. I had a question earlier on from someone who asked me that she happened to have diabetes, if that qualifies her as someone who may have a chronic disease. Well, it depends. We don't determine who qualifies for CCC Plus, the state does. So if your medical condition is deemed by a doctor that is too harsh enough that would deem you disabled, then it's been sent out to the state, and the state determine whether it's a chronic disease, and then you qualify for the Medicaid. The other thing is that starting January 1st, the Medicaid would expand in the whole state of Virginia. Anyone before an adult between the ages of 19 and 64, in order to qualify for Medicaid, they have to have an income of about $600 a month. And who will survive on $600 a month budget? No. So, thankfully, the state decided to expand the Medicaid for the adult population, because there's a gap between the people who has Medicaid and the people who happen to have insurance and the people with the so-called Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, okay? So in the state of Virginia, the gap is about roughly a little bit more than 400,000 people without health insurance. Starting January 1st, anyone who qualifies due to their income and family size between the ages of 19 and 64 can apply for Medicaid. And this will happen starting November 1st. The open enrollment for Medicaid for the adults is November 1st, okay? So you may ask you, as an adult, how can I qualify for Medicaid? First of all, you have to be a citizen, you have to be a resident, or a refugee, or someone who has an asylum status. You have to have a legal status in order to qualify. Resident, citizen, refugee, or asylee to qualify, okay? Now, if you meet those requirements, then how do you qualify? You qualify by income and family size. If you're an adult between the ages of 19 and 64, and you make about $16,754 a year, which roughly translates about $8.50 an hour, then you qualify. If you have a family of two, let's say you and your husband, between the two of you make $22,715 a year, then you qualify. If you have a family of three, you, your husband, and a child, let's say that you don't work, okay, and your husband does, or you don't work and your wife does, then you will need to make $28,677 a year. Family of four, 2 adults, 2 children, $34,638. Family of 6, $40,600. Family of 5. Family of 6, 46,562. Family of 7, $52,523. In family of 8, 58,485, which means that you would have roughly for every family member $6,000 to the income of the family, okay, in order to qualify. Any question? Yes. There's some more over here, and I gave some to Stacy so they can make copies and post it up on the social services office, okay? Do you have any question? Now, let me remind you that when it comes to the services or the benefits that are provided by the Medicaid health plans within the state, about 95% of the benefits are the same among all the health plans. The reason why they are the same is because they are mandated by the state. For example, all the health plans provide transportation for the members from your house to the doctor appointment, or if you need to go to the pharmacy as well to pick up your prescription, and back to your house. The only thing is that you need to specify that you need transportation back and forth, round trip, because sometimes they take you to the doctor and they don't get you back to your house because you didn't specify they needed round trip transportation. Also, it is recommended for you to go at least 5 days in advance, okay? Another thing that all health insurance provide is that we pay for over-the-counter medication, okay? What's over-the-counter medication? For example, if your child needs all the time, let's say Tylenol. Did you have Tylenol in your house for your child when they get sick? You can buy Tylenol and the Medicaid insurance will pay for it. But there are two conditions. One, you need a prescription from the doctor, okay? So when you go to the doctor, you ask the doctor if your child's Medicaid to write a prescription for Tylenol. The doctor might say, wow, that's over the counter. You let the doctor know that the Medicaid health insurance will pay for it, okay? The other condition is that the medication has to be, it cannot be a brand name. It has to be the pharmacy brand, okay? Or what they call it, what's the word? Generic. Thank you. It has to be generic. For example, talking about Tylenol. Tylenol is the name of the brand, okay, which was made by the pharmaceutical company. Now, the name of the medication is acetaminophen, okay? So, when you go to a pharmacy, tell the doctor to write a prescription for acetaminophen, you go to the pharmacy and you get the brand name. If it's Friday, the brand name from Friday for acetaminophen or CVS. When you go to pay, don't go to the counter, okay? Because on the counter, you cannot pay the prescriptions. You go to the pharmacy area and you pay for it with your prescription, and insurance will cover it, okay? Any question? Other of the benefits that we cover also, majority of all the health plans cover is that we have 24-hour nurses hotline, which means that if you or your child is sick, you can call this hotline, we call it a helpline, and ask for an advice on how to take care of the illness of your child, or when the Medicaid span of yourself, okay? An expert nurse will be there, will give you a series of questions, and will recommend to you the next course to take, or if you need to, we'll tell you if you need to go to the doctor, okay, to the emergency room. Any questions? For the family of how many? Okay, family of 4. It says here that your income, monthly income, has to be $2,887 per month, and that amount or below. It cannot be more than that. That's the limit. Okay, so the income guidelines, where it shows you monthly or annually, that's as much as you can make. Okay? If you make more than that, then unfortunately you do not qualify. Any other question? Or maybe because they have the registration, the name of the parent, because obviously the child cannot read what it says, so it's addressed to you. So you can take care of that.
Because in the past, they used to do like a parent name and a child.
Mhm.
But lately, they just put the name.
That's something the state is doing now. Any other question? So once again, there are two things that's going to happen, or there are things going on right now. Okay? Since last Monday, the first of this month, now there are no longer 3 Medicaid home plans in Northern Virginia or in the entire state. There are 6. Okay? The other thing is that anyone who happens to have internal health, now they have United Healthcare. Okay? Which is with the same services. Okay? What happened is that internal health was put out by United Healthcare a few months ago. The other thing is that open enrollment for CCC Plus, which is a Medicaid health plan, or Medicaid, health plan for people with chronic diseases, aged, blind, and disabled. The open enrollment starts the first of this month. And November 1st, any adult who thinks that qualifies for Medicaid, they can start applying for November 1st for the Medicaid starting January 1st. So you apply November 1st, they check your qualifications. If you qualify, they'll send you the approval letter, but the services itself do not start until January 1st, 2019. Okay? And you have to be a legal resident of the United States. Legal resident meaning a citizen, legal resident, or a refugee or an asylee. Okay? Any other question? Thank you very much, then. Assalamu alaikum. Have a blessed day.